We got a lot to unpack, y'all. I'm telling you. So let's just get into it. You know what y'all here for. You know what y'all getting. AFL word on the street. Know who I be. Sap my steez. Yes, Lord. Let's get to it. All right. Started off, man. Really ain't got no retirements. Really too many delistings either. We're just about to mostly get into the news. It's been a lot. Real busy. Trade period has already opened up. So you know things have happened already for sure. So we got to go into the moves that happened for sure, man. All right, so of course I started with my blue bagger boy, Harry Mackay. Got his sign back on, man. Didn't take any deals, didn't even explore free agency. Was like, let's just go back to Carlton, 2030. We locked in this thing. Yes, Lord, man. What is that, 7 years? Let's get it, man. I'm proud of you, Harry, so let's get it, man. We got the future locked in, Charlie and Harry. What you know about that, man? What y'all know? All right, so yeah, pretty much just going to the extensions first, though. That's what we're going to do. Had to get my little bagger excitement out the way, so if y'all excuse me, I appreciate it. But Chris Burgess and Levi Casbolt, the two big boys from Gold Coast, they signed extensions. Casbolt signed until the end of next season, which is in the 2023 season, and Burgess for a year after that, which is the 2024 season. So proud to see Casbolt still chugging along, man. He earned himself a contract. He balled out a little bit this year, man. He played his role, and here he goes. He earned himself another contract. So shout out to that boy. So Jake Lloyd from Sydney, defender, he has 3 years extension until 2025. So that's good for Sydney to be able to lock that down there. I know they've been trying to work down, trying to upgrade down back, and they did that. And securing him goes a long way towards them returning back to the Premiership, to the Grand Final rather, if they can make it back. So it'll be tough to make it back, but I'm sure they can though. But sticking with Sydney though, Ryan Clark and Will Gould, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but they both signed 1 year extensions as well. And I think the first move I seen from trade period was Jaden Hunt officially going to West Coast, and Melbourne will receive assistance from the AFL. They'll receive pick 52 in this year's draft, but that does bolster the speed of West Coast. We've seen them walking and being real slow at times, and Jaden Hunt hasn't been able to play every game given he was playing in Melbourne, and so maybe he'll just take advantage of his opportunities and play as hard as he can, because he will be in that best 22 down there at West Coast, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, hopefully he takes the opportunities with both hands and doesn't take it for granted, and it shows in his play. So yep, I'll be interested in seeing that right there though, for sure. Of course, my backers, man, one of the other early moves, Blake Acres to Carlton. Freo will receive a 2023 third-round pick from the AFL due to this move, but it's been in the works, man. We talked about it. We ain't got to talk too much about Blake Acres, man. We know that was going down. We'll get into the trades now. Tim Taranto getting traded to Richmond for pick 12 and 19. 12 and 19 are definitely picks that can be used in the trade if needed. And GWS has been stacking up on the draft picks, as we'll get into it. I think we have to talk about them a couple more times later on in this show. But yeah, man, GWS is really stacking up for the draft, bro. And Taranto is a good player and he'll help Richmond out, bro. Definitely. So that's pretty wild, bro. That's probably one of the biggest ones so far, man. See, I just can't even see him in the black and yellow, bro. That's just real weird. But sticking with GWS losses, Bobby Hill and the pick 40 of this year's draft was traded to Collingwood, and in return they will get the 2023 second round pick and pick 43 in this year's draft. To add on to that, Josh Corbett got traded to Freo from Gold Coast for a future 4th round pick. Darcy Tucker, Griffin Loeb, and future 3rd round pick will be traded from Freo to North. And Freo will receive a future 2nd round pick, the future 3rd round pick from the AFL, but from North they will get a future 4th round pick. So they're getting a little draft hand right there out of them two players. At least they got something out of players who said they wanted to leave. So you gotta just take what you can get at that point. Ben Long and a 2023 4th round pick was traded to the Suns from the Saints, and they will receive pick 32 in this year's draft in return. Tom Berry and pick 46, and also a 2023 2nd round pick, and this pick is from GWS. Will be traded to the Suns from Brisbane, and in return Brisbane will receive pick 25, pick 36, and pick 56. And now that was a little confusing. I seen conflicting reports about this trade surrounding the pick 56. I seen that pick 56 was not involved in there. I seen it was involved, so I'm not quite sure. Just put a little asterisk next to this one because I'm not quite sure. I'm just seeing, just put it in there just in case. So we'll see come draft day, or if we see some more reports that'll end up confirming him for moving on. Pick 15 in this year's draft was traded to GWS from Brisbane. And Brisbane will receive the pick 21 in this draft, so they slide back 6 spots. And then they also get next year's second round pick from GWS. And Geelong, bro, they received Tanner Braun from GWS, the one who showcased a little talent, man. He had a couple games this year, and they got pick 18 for that. So Geelong just knows how to lowball, bro. They just get ahead. I see how they just keep that stability, bro. They lowball you, bro. And even if they don't get it, bro, they'll still work on you, bro. And Radagalier wanted to go to Port. He expressed himself, but I know Geelong wasn't really keen to get rid of him at all. And ultimately, he decided he stands. So I guess he bought into running the back for another premiership. I'm not quite sure what his reasoning was for staying, but he decided to stay, and I know Geelong's happy with that. So that's everything I got. That's for sure has happened so far in trade period, man. The rest will just be pretty much rumors, and we'll go into the best and fairest as well at the end. But we'll get into these trade rumors, bro. It has been getting real clunky, bro. It seemed like everything might have been clean cut, but not quite, bro. We have at least three, 4 trades that are just up in the air right now. Some have been agreed to, but there's just little kinks in the things right now, bro. So we know, if you haven't known, I don't know where you've been, but Jason Horne-Francis has requested a trade to South Australia, specifically Port, and they've been working with West Coast with that as well. They've been involved. So West Coast role in this 3-way trade would be West Coast holds the 2nd pick in this year's draft. They will slide back 6 spots to the 8th pick, and they will also receive a future first from North, and North would receive that 2nd pick, and Port would receive Junior Rioli. But West Coast wasn't happy with that. They didn't feel like that was enough, so they turned that down. And I know the deal isn't completely dead, but it's a little far off. And I also have seen that West Coast has been inquired about Dan Houston involved in this. And there's also, I've been seeing that West Coast may want the pick 27 that they received from Hawthorn from losing Carl Amon from the trade. So it'll be interesting. It's still a little stalled up in the air. Nothing has been confirmed yet. It hasn't been agreed on, and there's even been talks about a 6-team trade being involved with this trade, bro. So that's like a third of the damn league. So that would just be wild, bro. A reason why the 6-team trade couldn't be involved. I think Port was trying to trade the future first rounder, but the AFL rules that you can't trade future first, second, and third. You can't trade multiple futures. That's the only reason why this 6-team trade hasn't been going through. Yeah, so let's see what happens, man. I wonder who will come out the winners of that trade and the loser, and we might not be able to tell just right then and there. It might just take some time, but we'll see, bro. All right, so moving on, there's also the Jacob Hopper trade to Richmond. Hasn't happened yet. The Toronto one, obviously, we just talked about, has happened, but apparently GWS is not quite happy with the future first and the pick 31 in this year's draft for Jacob Hopper. And GWS has said it to the point, if the Hopper deal doesn't happen, then we'll be open to trading Lockie Whitfield or Nick Haynes. And so that'll be very interesting as well, bro. It just seems like they're just trying to switch it up a little bit, especially with the new coaching staff. So I'm sure that probably has something to do with it. It'll be a different team, man. We also have Western Bulldogs and Brisbane not close to a deal on Josh Dunkley. And to my understanding, I think there's been a couple offers and involving especially future first rounders that Brisbane's offered, but it isn't quite enough. I think Josh Dunkley's manager said even if it gets to a point where they're struggling, bro, to come up to a deal, he doesn't want to go back to the Western Bulldogs. And I even heard about talks of him going to the preseason draft where he'll be up for grabs. So I don't know what's going to happen there, man. Don't let a Greenwood happen, man, or even something of the nature, bro. That's pretty bad, bro. Not to a player of his caliber. No, you can't do that. All right, now the Luke Jackson trade hasn't gone through yet. And Melbourne turned down pick 13 in this year's draft and next year's 2023 first round pick from Freo. And Jackson wants Freo, but he won't request a trade for whatever reason. And I read something about West Coast's only chance to get him is if he walks the preseason draft, just like the situation we talked about Josh Dunkley. So I'm not quite sure, man. Juwan informed me that he has a good relationship with Jayden Hunt, though. So I wonder how far that'll take him, given that they're both teammates. I'm sure it will only help. So there was a deal that was agreed upon. Well, it wasn't agreed upon, but Jack Bowles has nominated Geelong as his club that he wants to go to. And Gold Coast has no problem trying to facilitate that trade, given the money that he's on, trying to do a salary dump. And they're also willing to sweeten the pot by including the pick 7 in this year's draft. And Geelong is just finessing, bro, just coming up on top, bro. Like, if Geelong ends up sneaking another great player out of this situation, bro, it's just gonna be ridiculous. But I hear that there's likely a future second round pick involved going to Gold Coast for them to get something back, not to get fully finessed. And the Rankin deal hasn't quite happened yet. I heard there was reports about the Jack Bowes situation, that deal not going through, is stopping the process of the Rankin deal. I hear there's pick 5 is involved. Should happen, and it's been agreed upon, but it's just all the kinks, like I said, that might have to get worked out. So that's all the difficult trades that we haven't happened. Everything that hasn't happened yet, everything else is kind of just interest and things that seem like they're going to happen but haven't happened yet. So reports of Aaron Francis, the defender from Essendon, to Sydney. It should be a lock. So that's another one of the defenders that we were talking about to help Jake Lloyd out there. Setterfield is set to join Essendon from Carlton. I would like to bring him back, but it seemed like there might not be enough room in the midfield for him. And that deal pretty much seems like it locks in Paddy Dow. I know Paddy Dow has been told to explore other options, but it looks like he may come back after seeing how Setterfield is leaving. Gold Coast is looking at Collingwood wingman Caleb Poulter. Also has mild interest in North Melbourne midfielder Jed Anderson. Jeremy Sharp from Gold Coast is keen to be a Fremantle Docker. Gold Coast wants at least a second rounder from him, but nothing has been worked out. I hear that James Harms may want out of Melbourne, and I heard that he spoke with Essendon. So just keep an eye out for that, whether he stays or if he even goes to Essendon. That would be kind of crazy. Melbourne has ties to Lachie Hunter, the midfielder from Western Bulldogs. He hasn't really been able to get consistency going, really in game time wise, just given that the midfield is really that good at the Bulldogs. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him leave, but cracking Melbourne's midfield really will be equally as hard in my opinion. And the barometer, Reece Matheson is exploring trades from Brisbane. So I wonder if he'll go to a lesser club to where he'll be able to get time, because it'd be tough to crack at Brisbane. And to round out this episode, we'll go ahead and just knock out these best and fairest. We had 9 from the last video, and we have 8 with one club, and that's Port Adelaide not having theirs announced yet, fashionably late. All right, so for Essendon, congratulations to all these players. 2 Meter Peter from Essendon, Andy Brayshaw from Freo, Toot Miller from Gold Coast, Sam Taylor from GWS, James Sicily from Hawthorn, Jai Simpkin from North Melbourne, Jack Sinclair from St Kilda Saints, and Tom Barras from West Coast Eagles. Yeah, man. It was a mouthful. It was a lot, man. Hopefully I taught y'all something. Hopefully it brought some news to your attention. If I missed anything, definitely let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff, man. Got the Patreon, bro. All the link in the bio of everything, bro. If you want to support us financially, definitely appreciate that, bro. Yeah, man. Check us out on the next video, man. Stay tuned, bro. Definitely about to keep pumping out content this off season, bro. Don't forget about us. Don't forget to tune in, and we'll see y'all, bro.